So Joe Biden is taking a very different approach to foreign policy than the former president Donald Trump took. And we sort of have like one of our first big foreign policy conflicts to talk about. There's been a little bit of Joe Biden talking about and around China policy and tariffs and the like. But now it's Putin and now it's Russia, and things are very quickly getting interesting. And unfortunately, anytime I touch this issue, I have to give some disclaimers, which I'm going to give in a moment. But the question is, what's going on? Well, what's going on is that during a video call with Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday, Joe Biden issued a warning. And the warning said in very simple terms is, do not invade Ukraine, or we are going to hit you with very strong economic sanctions. And this is one of the first really major foreign policy events of its kind with Joe Biden. Donald Trump made a really big show out of bragging about how he would deal with adversarial foreign leaders. With Putin, it was mostly kid gloves. With Kim Jong-un, it was falling for the obvious meaningless platitudes and promises that we've gotten from every North Korean leader recently and thinking he accomplished something. And, we can look at the full list of those relationships. Well, for Joe Biden, it seems as though it's going to go a little bit differently. Now, the context here, if you've not been following it, is that U.S. intelligence has determined that Russia has massed what they believe to be 70,000 troops near the border with Ukraine, and appears to be making preparations for an invasion maybe as soon as early in 2022. Now, appears to be making preparations is not just technically accurate, it actually may be the entire point, which is to gauge what the reaction is going to be of other major powers, but we're going to get to that. Ukrainian officials are saying Russia's sending tanks, they're sending snipers, they're trying to provoke return fire to then justify a full invasion. That's the position of Ukrainian authorities. Now, I need to make my disclaimers. I know that for 90% of my audience, I don't have to say this. I have to say it for 10% of my audience, but if I don't, my inbox becomes a hellscape. I am telling you what Joe Biden is saying to Vladimir Putin. I am not suggesting war with Russia. I am not cheerleading war with Russia. I don't want war with Russia. Do not email me saying, David, why are you such a neocon imperialist that you want war with Russia? Trump wanted to get along. Why, David? I'm not saying that. Please don't email me that. Now, in the call, the belief is that Biden said, if you invade Ukraine, we're going to hurt your economy. Putin was expected to ask for a guarantee from Joe Biden that the NATO military alliance will never involve Ukraine. Ukraine wants membership in that shared defense alliance. Putin doesn't want that. Now, in advance of the call, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki put out a statement where she said, quote, we've consulted significantly with our allies and believe we have a path forward that would impose significant and severe harm on the Russian economy. You can call that a threat. You can call that a fact. You can call that preparation. You can call it whatever you want to call it. That was Jen Psaki on Monday. So listen, this is not going to go the way it went under Trump. This is going to be different. Biden is not going to fly to Finland, meet with Putin, do a press conference where he says, I don't know, I asked Putin if they hacked us and Putin denied it very strongly. Okay. I don't know. Putin said his troops aren't really massing at the border. They're just passing by on a sightseeing tour. Okay, that one I made up. The first one happened under Trump. That last one I made up. That's not going to be the way it is under Joe Biden. This doesn't mean we want war with Russia. This doesn't mean we want Biden starting to drone Russia, boots on the ground, or any of the stuff. It's also important to understand that Putin has done this before. And it's not a guarantee that Putin necessarily plans to invade or wants to invade. He is constantly gauging reactions. Putin is not stupid. Putin is actually a brilliant guy in his own way. And he's gauging reaction. He's sowing chaos. He's creating confusion. And massing the troops at the border may not be a plan to invade. I think the key part here is there are some people on the pro-Trump right who are saying Putin would never invade. Obviously, that's not true. History tells us that's not true. What could be true is that Putin does not intend to invade this particular time and is trying to see what kind of reaction he can get. Last thought on this. One, it'll be interesting to see how Putin reacts to Biden's warning. In other words, if this is a trial balloon, what, if anything, will Joe Biden's warning do to dissuade Putin or not? That's number one. And then number two, I got a few emails from people in the audience thinking along the same lines, which is it possible that Russia and China are coordinating on Ukraine and Taiwan, respectively, to do actions at the same time, not working together, but the timing coordinated in order to really see if and what the US and NATO are going to do? It's a very interesting speculation. I don't think at this point we have evidence that that's actually what's going on. But like everything else, we're going to watch it, and it will be very interesting to see quite frankly, this is the first kind of adversarial foreign policy test for Joe Biden, major one anyway, of his presidency. So we will watch it. Always curious to know your thoughts. One of our sponsors is Allform, hands down the easiest way to custom build your own sofa. You choose the premium fabric you want. You choose the sofa size, shape, color, even the color of the legs. You can customize every aspect of your new sofa to make sure it's the perfect fit for your home. I got my first Allform sofa a year ago. I just got a second one, which is really exciting. These really are the sofas I would have bought for my home. Even if Allform was not a sponsor, you really can't beat the quality, the modern minimal design. The sofas are spill, stain, and scratch proof. You can buy one piece and start with that, and then buy more seats and accessories to add on later. Shipping is fast and free. You get 100 days to decide if you want to keep the sofa. It comes with a forever warranty, and you'll get 20% off when you go to allform.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.